Aha, my hearties! A very good evening to you. It's just me, Scottie McClue, and we're live on YouTube, big style, talking to every single one of you. How good is this? Lovely to have you with us tonight. Of course, it's Saturday night, and nothing gets past me. You see, I know these things, and I thought I'd just pop up and we'd have a little bit of chit chat, banter, catch up on what is what, and see what you're thinking about the world and about things in general. So they also do come and join us as soon as you possibly can. Let me know if you can hear me. Very, very important. So I'll put in the chat, good evening. Can you hear me? All right. Good evening. Lovely, lovely. And Dinky-Doo, Dinky-Doo. There we are. I wonder where Professor Numpty is. He's a bit late tonight. Good evening, Dinky-Doo. And also I'll put, can you hear me? There we are. Is that a good idea as well? Can you hear me? There we are. That's that. And I'll put a question mark. May as well keep things right. Can you hear me? And there's the question mark, you see. So good evening, and can you hear me? Excellent. Now, which way am I going? Do I need to be more that way or that way? I think I need to be a little further this way. So I'm just, oh, now you're talking. That's what I'm going to do. And then you should be able to see me and you should be able to hear me. Good evening, Susan. How are we? Can you hear me tonight, Susan? Is the sound on? Yes, usual questions. Is the sound on? Is everything working? So type in if you can hear me all right. We can hear you on YouTube. Good, excellent. Well, we're just going to do YouTube tonight. And I'll tell you for why. I'll level with you. When we were on two devices doing different channels, it takes up the bandwidth. Now, I think maybe you heard last week I said I was going to get in touch with my supplier and we were going to increase the bandwidth. So that is happening, but it hasn't happened as yet. So we're on the road. Can you see what's happening, Susan? We're making it better and better all the time for everybody, which I think is very, very important. So thank you for that, Susan. If you can hear me, that is just amazing. And we'll get everybody on. There's JD, sound and vision now okay. Now, JD, is the vision a lot better as well as the sound? Tell me about that one, please, because, as I say, I've cut down on the other device tonight. So we're flying by the seat of our pants. We're only on YouTube tonight. Yes, as part of an experiment. So tell me if you think it's working. Yeah, sound division now, okay. So there we are. So I think a lot of the reason that people don't join us and say, oh, it's not very good, it's all over the place, there's pixelating. Folk are very harsh with social media and they only give you one chance. You know what I mean? So there we are. So this is Scottie McClue asking for one chance. I think that's quite important. Now, lots and lots of new things happening. No sign of Numpty Heat. And I thought he'll be on. Yes, sharp and not blurry. So there you go. So I think that's the answer. And I'll tell you how I know. I watched the end of a YouTube and we'd switched off the TikTok and it went clear. And I thought that's quite good. It's a lot clearer tonight. Good one, Susan. I think we've finally managed to crack it. So we're going to be on here and lots and lots of new movies for you. And I'll upload them into a playlist so that you can choose. But lots of argy-bargy. It's interesting. No matter what you do, you get the haters. You get people that complain. People complain when something's absolutely free. Instead of just going away, they think they'll complain. You know, I mean, what kind of people are we getting? I ask you. So there we go. So we're going to miss a lot of the TikTokers tonight, but it doesn't really matter. Just trying to even that up a little bit. See if that looks better. There we are. A little bit straighter, I tell you. So that's what's happening from that point of view. And we can probably give you a tune on the accordion tonight because we're not under pressure from all the others, all the TikTokers and things like that. But we can go on the TikTok anytime and see what is what, I tell you. So there we go. Have you sampled any of the movies? Somebody came up with a very, very good idea. They said, could we have a watch along? And I think what I might do is actually we'll watch the movie together. We'll sort of predestine it, and it will say, Scottie McClue will be watching that time. Can you get watching too? We'll get everybody watching, and then we'll take the comments on the movie. Do you fancy that? I think that might be a bit of a goer. So there we go. So we have the movie playing and we take the comments on the movie. Lots and lots of lovely hearts. Who's sending me hearts? And if you're watching on YouTube, well, there only is YouTube, sorry, go down and give us a thumbs up at the bottom left. All right, bottom left. Hi there, Scottie, from Chris from Otago in New Zealand. Chris, lovely to have you with us and a very warm welcome. So whereabouts is Otago? You'll have to forgive my ignorance. People are used to it now. Whereabouts is Otago in New Zealand? There we are. Are you North Island, South Island? That sounds good, Scottie. Well, Susan, I think it's the kind of thing that you might well enjoy, you know, because we discuss it. You see, I have taught and lectured widely on media, on movies, film, television, all that stuff as a critic. And I've done it, obviously, to a class of students and a class of academics who were studying that particular work. But I think there might be demand from the public for my input as a lecturer on a piece of work. And we'll sort of, you know, deconstruct the article and discuss why has that character done that in this particular movie. And it's very interesting. I've put up Tunes of Glory, which is without doubt my favorite movie. And it's just had, I think, not very many, maybe 2,000 or 3,000 people have had a look at it. And I've put up my other favorite movie, The Fourth Protocol, and about 500,000 people, 500,000 people have had a look at that. So it's very interesting. And Alfred Hitchcock was renowned to have said that Tunes of Glory was probably the best movie ever made. And it's got an all-star cast, so it should be very popular. It's got the lead played by Alec Guinness, Sir John Mills, Sir Alec Guinness, Sir John Mills, Gordon Jackson, an introduction to a very young Susanna York, you know. Dennis Price is in it. Who else is in? Alan Cuthbertson, very well known for playing young officers in filmography at the time. South Island, says Chris. Ah, wow, we love it, Chris. Right, so I don't really know South Island. I had family in North Island in Matamata, about 10 miles from Auckland. Would that be right? How close are the islands, Chris? You know, let's have a bit of input from NZ. You know, how close are the islands? I think we should be told. I tell you. So there we are. That would be excellent. So that, Susan, was kind of how it came about, and that's what we're thinking about. But I would urge everybody, I have personally chosen these movies from my collection for you. That's what they're there for, so that everybody can go onto YouTube and say, telly's just a lot of nonsense. I need to actually get a proper movie. So go to Scottie McClue's talk show. Yep, South Island, 4 hours on the ferry, mate. Right, Chris. And is there a lot of coming and going? Because the New Zealanders, any I've met, and I've met a good few, they all seem to be very laid back, and they all seem to be very happy where they live, which is interesting. You know, a lot of people could take a leaf out of the New Zealand people's the Kiwis book. I tell you, Susan says I watched a few of the movies. Excellent, Scottie. I love your movies. Thank you so much for posting them. Abundant you. That is a great privilege and very kind of you to say. Overwhelmingly, the comments are great, and everybody appreciates it because, as I say, they're very carefully chosen. I've watched them, some of them many, many times, actually, dare I say, because have you noticed, if you get a DVD of something, it goes on the shelf. Now, I loved having a library of videos, VHS, and I went back to it, but you don't watch again usually. But some movies I watch again and again and again. Tunes of Glory is one of them. The Fourth Protocol, I can't get enough of. You know, Michael Caine, Ian Richardson, you know, people like that in it. Just outstanding. Anton Rogers, outstanding actors. Tunes of Glory, again, every single line is a work of art, a piece of genius. I could probably give you the script. And Duncan McCrae is in it. Wonderful old Scottish actor who was in... Now, what was he in? I'm just trying to think. Was it Casino Royale? And he was the head of the Paris police with his Highland accent, Duncan. And somebody said, excuse me, you're the head of the Paris police, and yet you have a Scottish accent. That surprises me. And his response was, it surprises me too. So there we go. Now, what have we got here? Scottie, I'm horribly late. Makes a change. I received no notification that you were on. Now, Numpty Head, naughty, naughty boy. If you look at your YouTube, the community page, I said Scottie live in, was it 15 minutes? Yeah, I tell you. South Islanders are very laid back and are very friendly. The North Islanders are about the same, I think. Chris, I think you're absolutely right, but it's just, I love New Zealanders, the ones I've met, because they just are so laid back. A lot of British people nowadays, when they meet you, they start moaning and groaning. I'm not surprised, because things are far from okay in the UK at the moment. The financial setup is dreadful. And I would imagine right up at the top, it'll be intentional. You know, I just subscribed, mate. Chris, you're very good. Thank you. Because we need all the subscribers we can get. Do you know, 1.5 million people have watched this channel? 1.5 million, because I get all the stats, the analytics. And 1.5 million in the last 28 days. And yet I've only got 20,000 subscribers. Now, I can never understand that, because if I like to site, the first thing I do is subscribe. But I think what's happened here, somebody told me recently, not everyone is actually, am I right in saying you can access YouTube without being a member or having a channel? Yeah. Now, what have we got here? Numpty Heat. Numpty Heat, everyone that kens you knows that you wouldn't intentionally be late. And I was a few seconds just getting organized tonight, and I thought, Numpty Heat will be doing his nut. I was actually talking to the missus downstairs, and I said, I'll need to go up, or Numpty Heat will be giving me pelters. And here you are. I tell you. Who else have we got? Who's just joined us? I collect all sorts of movies, mostly aviation, World War II, British movies, submarines, etc. Now, Abundant Universe, if I may call you that, did you see High Flight? Have you seen that one? It's amazing. I looked at it one day, and I think it had got about 1,000 people had looked at it, and I thought, yeah, that's not going down. Next thing, 53,000 have looked at it. So you just never know. And some of them I'm not allowed to put up. They just won't allow it with the copyright and stuff. But others we've managed to negotiate. And High Flight is a beauty. And also there's the American one, Air Cadet. Yeah, have a look at that if you like that. The submarines, we've got Sir John Mills, the Tirpitz, yes, the Waves Above Us. And we've also got Morning Departure, but you'll have seen these, I know. I tell you. Thanks very much for subscribing, Chris. This is the first time you've met Scottie McClue. Chris, although I say it myself, I am a legend. Some people say it's actually a legend. 2 billion people know Scottie McClue worldwide. Don't ask me how. I've been 40 years on television and radio. And we used to have a big talk show on the radio and lots of little bits and pieces on the television. And then, of course, you come on to something like this and you get the haters going, oh, you've come down in the world. I would say I've gone up in the world, you know. So there you go. Say the name again, please. Which one, Abundant Universe? See what I just did there. So High Flight. You'll see it on my movies. Telephone, guys. Telephone's going. Let's see who we got. Whoa. Hello, Scottish Florian. Who's that?
It's David, but you like to Kareem and myself and Numpty about the phone lines.
Wait a minute, I lied to Kareem. He said, David, I don't like being called a liar. I've never lied in my life. So
but I just,
you and I will be having a fallout.
We can't move on, but again, so we try to. So Kareem.
So well, wait a wee minute. Wait a wee minute. Can you take that back that you lied?
I will try.
I think you should try big style.
So the shows you're on TikTok all the time. What about your YouTube callers, Scottie?
Well, I'm on the YouTube callers. We're talking to you now. What's the complaint?
But again, and also the TikTok. You're on TikToks all the time. What about YouTube callers? Forget about the TikToks and start the night. Just speak at YouTube and start the night.
Well, that's what we've done. We've put the TikTok off, and you're on shouting and bawling.
Right. So it's
and accusing me of lying.
Right. But at the start, I couldn't get nothing happening. At the start, nothing's happening, including I did get a message from my phone about you.
Well, that's not my fault because I'm on YouTube and I put a message on the community. Do you ever check the community?
So what about the community, Scottie?
Well, you need to have a wee look at that, and it says Scottie live in 15 minutes.
I didn't see that.
Well, you go and have a look right now. Trust me.
But the old days, they want you back. The old days and speak to the YouTube callers.
Well, I'm talking to the YouTube callers. That's what I'm doing now.
Good. Oh, right.
See?
I love you, Scottie. Right, keep it on and get off the TikTok. Right. Okay.
All right, Tiger. There we go. I had to sort him telling me I lied. I do not tell lies. So where did we get to? Hang on. Coastal Command, yes, absolutely Coastal Command. And listen, I put one up the other night. Now you will love this. Western Approaches. There are no actors in the movie as far as I know. It's all real sailors. 24 men adrift in a boat. Western Approaches. And I just uploaded it. And as soon as I uploaded it, 534 people straight onto that. And it's now, I think it's about 13,000 since just a day or two ago. Having a look at Western Approaches. Beautifully done. It's one of these movies that when you finish it, you think, oh, wow. You know what I'm saying? So there were Western Approaches. Abundant Universe says, where are you from, Scottie? I'm from Scotland. Yes, indeed. The clue's in the name, you see. See, I can't tell if they're joking or not. Who's joking on here? Oh no, welcome to the family. No, no, they're loving having you here. Yes, it's excellent. I've seen it. I loved it as I'm ex-Navy. You've seen Western Approaches. Wow. Let me tell you, I watched that with my mouth open. That movie was the best I've seen in decades, all thanks to you. Abundant Universe. I tell you, I've never seen anything like it, and I must have seen virtually every WW2 movie that's come out. Watching these real people, I learned more about Britain from that than any other movie. Western Approaches. Yeah, absolutely. Western Approaches. You see, I had several great uncles, four of them, three deep sea mercantile captains in two world wars, right? And one of them, the fourth one, a chief engineer. Chief engineer, absolutely incredible. And they went round. Uncle Bob got the OBE. He circumnavigated or transversed, depending on your point of view, the world 7 times. This guy could take a tramp steamer out of Glasgow and go to Japan and back. That's how good these guys were. And my dad once visited him when he was in the harbour in Glasgow, because boats used to come right into Glasgow. And my dad visited and he saw all the sort of cups and little hooks. And he said to his uncle, Bob, do these cups ever come off in a heavy sea? And Bob looked at him and he said, Archie, if these cups come off, it's time we were off the ship. Lovely people, and just zero blowhard, torpedoed in the water. This guy actually brought down a spotter plane with a rifle. He was a crack shot, as my father was. And I actually am myself, but I don't use it. I don't shoot nowadays. Wow, mercantile captains. Yep, absolutely. 7 knots she went at. And do you know that in those days, if that ship changed course, the skipper woke up. If the engine note changed during the night, the chief engineer woke up. And these boats were built in the likes of Lithgow's at Greenock and Port Glasgow in Scotland. And they were built at Ardrossan. And they were engined in Scotland by Lithgow's or John G. Kincaid's, or these fantastic, huge maritime names. Clyde built, and even Yarrows, who built a lot of stuff for the for defence. And Scots built submarines. Scots had started in the 1770s, and they were building submarines when I was young. And Yarrows were based in London. And they realized that if they moved to the Clyde, they would get space. They would get access to safe, deep water. They would get access to coal, access to steel via railways and a network of things. They couldn't believe the luck. So Yarrows came from London and came up and started operating out of Glasgow. Wonderful family, I tell you. Right, Western Approaches. You know what reminded me of the British Pathé shots where they have real people talking? Absolutely. Yes, indeed, the war may be going hard in this part of the world, but it's thumbs up to mum at home. That's incredible, Scotty. I tell you, Glasgow shipyards, famous. Yes. Ian G. Ingalls at Point House, John Brown's at Clydebank built the Hood. You know what I mean? Wow, I tell you. My condolences to the family of Scottish comedian Janie Godley, who also once starred in River City. Yes, we, Janie, she passed away. Was it today or last night? Absolutely. That's right. Wow, I tell you. So going round the world at 7 knots, what's that? 6 miles an hour. 5, 6 miles an hour. I tell you. But they could move such huge amounts of stuff. You could put railway engines on board. And one that they were wary of was esparto grass, because if the cargo shifted and water got into the hold, it soaked up the water and changed the weight of the boat, the ballast. Hi, Scotty. I used to talk to you on your show over 20 years ago. Saul DINKY-DOO. Guys, you can always give me a call on the telephones. You know, do not forget that. I'll see if I can write it down for you. Oh, wait, I've got a pen that works. Have you noticed that when you go to write something down, the pen, you've got pens beside the phone, but they don't work. They never work. I don't know. And they've never been used. They're full of ink. There is my pen. I was going to write this number down for you. I will get it, you know. I'm not just an athlete. Look at that pen. Well, no, I don't think we've got it. Anyway, it's 0141628 9795. I'm pretty sure. No, I can't see where I've got it, guys. Sorry about that. So there we are, but we will find it. Remember, Western approaches, the ship couldn't stay stable at 7 knots of the convoy. That's right. She wasn't answering the helm. And this is true, I think, of all shipping. Our friends had a twin screw motor yacht, and under 3 knots, the helm was no use. So you maneuvered her on the 2 engines. And they didn't have things like bow thrusters. I mean, now when you see a ship maneuvering, you think, that is wow. Do you remember I spoke to you about the Bible and the last days? So all I do, you should come on and have a chat again. That's really interesting, says Abundant Universe. Yeah, she won't answer the helm under 6 knots. Oh. And I was fortunate enough to be very friendly with a gentleman that owned the foundry that made paddle steamer engines, and he put them in the Waverley, company called Rankin and Blackmore. So if you ever have the privilege of going on board PS Waverley, Rankin and Blackmore did the engines. And they had the Eagle Foundry in Baker Street in Greenock. Was it from Frocker Road, Baker Street? Have I got that right? Anyway, just up from the dock. And what you would do is you trundled them down on a railway. There used to be rails to the dock. So the Waverley was built to A&J Ingalls at Point House in 1947, 46, 47. And then they floated her down to Greenock with no engines and fitted the engines. I love you. Fantastic. I thought, way. Hey, Scotty and everyone. Amy, DINKY-DOO. I tell you. Now, Amy, you'll find things are a bit different tonight. Chris Sullivan says, sink the Bismarck. I loved it until HMS Hood got blown up. I had a tear in my eye. Rest in peace, Hood. There were 3 survivors from the Hood. And you'll probably not believe this, but my mother knew one of them. He used to go to Ardrishig, which was actually a big naval base in the Second World War. And my mother was a young lady in Ardrishig, and she got to meet one of the survivors of HMS Hood, 3 of them. And that line in the film when one sailor turns to the other and goes, blimey, the Hood's gone. And it was when Churchill heard that the Hood had been blown up that he issued the order, sink the Bismarck. Sink the Bismarck. And the captain on the bridge, what was the boat? Remind me, the one that actually sank her. Well, no, it was a torpedo from a fairy swordfish. And my favorite teacher was a lieutenant in the RNVR and flew swordfish off the Ark Royal. And it was a swordfish that dropped a torpedo that got the Bismarck. But the skipper of the vessel that was sinking her by gunfire at the end, said, finish her off with torpedoes. That was his command. I tell you. So there we go. What else have we got? Yeah, it was a very, very sad moment. And apparently, now I don't know how true this is because I wasn't there. The hood was built, if I remember right, in 1916 at John Brown's. And her armor plating round the magazine wasn't as thick as it could have been. That's what I heard. You tell me if there's truth in that. And I think what happened was it was actually a lucky punch from Bismarck because it pierced the armor plating and went into the magazine and she blew up on her own magazine. Is that right? Have I got that story right? Come on, all you naval guys, come on and tell me. I tell you. Abundant Universe. Now, what have we got here? Wow, all of my friends are veterans and WW2 flyers. Korea, Vietnam, Iraq. Absolutely. Well, Iraq, of course, at that time, was it not Persia? Or was that Iran? Iran was Persia. And there was a lot of British people in the Gulf of Persia, working. Anglo-Iranian oil. Yeah, Douglas Bader worked for an oil company. I'm sure he did. Wow, that's why I think, yeah, it went into the magazine. Yep. I think that's what happened. So it was just, as we say, a lucky punch. I build airplanes for a living and teach people to build them. Abundant. How amazing. I can remember seeing plans for a light aircraft. Have you ever heard of Oster? The chap I've just told you about, my favorite schoolmaster, he used to talk about getting a wee Oster aircraft. But I saw plans for the building of an aircraft using a Volkswagen Beetle air-cooled engine. Is that possible? Have you heard that? And of course, I can go right back to remembering Tom Sopwith, T-O-M Sopwith, Thomas Octave Murdoch Sopwith. Yeah, and Tommy Sopwith lived till he was 102. And I can remember him being interviewed on television and somebody said, so Thomas, to what do you owe your incredible success in life? And he said, pure luck. But you see, he was so switched on, he saved this country many times. Tom Sopwith, First World War, he got his license in 1912. So he's one of the very early aviators, right? He got his license in 1912. And he was the chairman of Hawker Aircraft when the Harrier jump jet was launched. Is that not just amazing? And in the First World War, the Sopwith camel, the Sopwith pup. The pup was a little gem. I think the camel could be a little bit tricky to fly. Sopwith aircraft. And then in the build up to the Second World War, he was at Hawker's. Now, these were real people. Hawker's was a man called Harry Hawker. And Sopwith was at Hawker's, the build up to the Second World War, and he'd been to Germany and he'd gone, I think it was to Dornier, and he'd seen the rearmament. And he thought to himself, we need to do something about this. So he came back to Sopwith, to Hawker's, and he said, I want to order Hurricane fighters. And they said, absolutely, Sir Thomas, who are they for? And he went, for me. And of course, the usual British total disorganization at the very last moment when World War was inevitable, right? Well, depending on your point of view. World War was inevitable. They then panicked the Air Ministry and they said, we need fighters. And Tom Sopwith was able to say, right, well, I can supply these. Amazing. And then the other bit of total disorganization at the time, they took every bit of metal railings from all the houses, from all the big houses, because they wanted to build aircraft. Aircraft are made out of fabric, wood, aluminium. These were cast iron, the heaviest form of iron. What do? I can't believe you're saying all this. I'm an aviation historian also, and you are speaking my history. Now, Abundant Universe, am I telling the truth? Am I getting it right? Yeah? So there you go. And the other one, here's another one for you. You'll love this one, Abundant Universe. There was a company called Saunders Roe, and they were based in Cowes on the Isle of Wight. And they built beautiful wooden ships because Sam Saunders, S.E. Saunders, had been a launch builder, and his family owned the old Swan pub at Straitley-on-Thames. Yeah. And Sam Saunders moved out to the Isle of Wight and came up with a material called consuta, which was sewn plywood. Yeah, sewn and glued. And they used to sew these layers of timber together to make the consuta. And he started building the likes of the umpire's launch for Henley Regatta, which was called the consuta. She's fully restored. She's still around today. And they were needing an input of finance to S.E. Saunders. And along came Sir Elliot Verdon Roe, hyphenated. Yeah, Verdon Roe, R-O-E. Sir Elliot Verdon Roe. He was married to Mary Stopes. And A.V. Roe, of course, is Avro Aircraft. And I can remember staying with friends, and the lady I was staying with, her father had taken part in the Schneider race. Yeah. And he'd been one of the pilots in the Schneider race. And he'd been a major in the RFC, the Royal Flying Corps, prior to 1918. And she showed me this lovely little photograph album of the best album, as from algorithm, photo album of the first flight in a Vickers Vimy bomber from London to Cairo. Yeah, I think it might have been 1929. And there they were in the cloche hats, sitting, having a picnic in the desert where she'd touched down for a break. First flight from London to Cairo, and there was a letter, and the letter at the back said, "Dear Major, and I thought you'd like these photos of the first flight from London to Cairo. They're not great as they're taken with an ordinary hand camera, but I thought it would be a nice memento for you." So I think he must have been the pilot. And it was signed Geoffrey de Havilland. Isn't that beautiful? Captain Geoffrey de Havilland. Wow. Saunders Roe Aircraft, yes, they became Saro, and then they went through various things, becoming eventually, I think, British hovercraft. So if you look at any of the big British hovercraft, which they built, Christopher Cockerell worked with them. And if you look at any British hovercraft, the number begins with SR, Saunders Roe. I'm telling you. And I tell you guys, if you're watching the YouTube, subscribe, please, and give us a thumbs up. Telephone. You're on the Scottish phone in. Who's that?
It's David.
David.
Scotty, you okay?
I'm okay. Why would I not be okay? I'm talking to you.
Yeah, Yeah, indeed, of course.
I was a wee bit upset when you called me a liar.
Aye, but that's not the point. But you're Scotty, you're okay.
Oh, I am 100%, my dear. Why are you saying?
Because you're talking about the big stories for the past. Okay, that's welcome. But again, people try to, I say, people phone in. I'm just saying, again,
Of course, people are phoning.
Listen, Scotty. I show phone in, as in people phone in. And that guy, Abundance, keeps texting you on YouTube, Abundance. History. We understand. Scotty, we love you. Come back to us.
I'm with you. I'm with you. What do you mean come back to you? What is it? Is it
0141
9? What is it? 9?
I've got that. I've got that. That's right. I did even Numpty said, John, your stories, we love your stories, Scotty history. But what's happened to the past? We need you. You're a family man.
This is the past. We're talking aviation tonight.
Aviation, what's that about history? You mean history?
That's about flying, aviation. What is it? Davey, listen to me. What is it? 0141.
Scott, I'm really worried. 0141 628. I forget the rest. Scott, you okay, son?
9795.
That's the one, yes.
That's the one, isn't it?
Scotty,
I thought so.
Scott, you're a bit. Scott, I'm really worried. You're a bit red.
Red? Oh, I am very red.
Scott, you okay, my friend?
I'm very red because my blood pressure, as you know, is up.
That's what I mean. Right. I've seen it on the screen. Now,
yes.
We need to calm you down, Scott, my friend.
Oh no, I'm calm. It's just because of my age and stage.
I understand. My friends get blood pressure.
The blood pressure's up, Davey.
Scott, have you get blood pressure tablets?
Oh yes, with plenty.
So have I.
Oh, I'm rattling. I'm absolutely rattling.
Right. So I've just watched, and the people you're doing your own job. Talk about history, things, history. Just calm down. Take a breath.
Take a wee breath.
I'm passionate. You're talking about the history times years ago, and again, we're trying to get you back to normal.
Well, this is normal.
Thing.
This is normal.
Your family, thank you. Your friends on YouTube is concerned as well, but I'm concerned.
Well, you've no need to be concerned. No. We're either here or we're no.
I'm watching on your big screen. You're getting a wee bit that. See your wee face right in my big telly. It's changing. It's kind of calming down a wee bit.
Calming down.
You're red. Yeah.
Calming down.
Yeah.
Excellent. We like that. You're calming me down.
That's right. History. We know about history. And this guy kept texting on YouTube. He was making you worse, I believe. Anyway, he's a normal guy.
Who's that? Who is?
The guy. I forget. He's got a smart name. I can't think on YouTube. He's just all his history.
Abundant Universe.
Abundant Universe. Yes.
Abundant Universe. Yes. We're just going to go over a bit of the old aircraft.
Yeah, the aircraft. That's correct. That's indeed okay. Right now, you're still going to be right. Breathe.
I will.
Breathe.
And it's lovely talking to you. Thank you.
Breathe, Scotty. Because Scotty, what did you do?
Oh, we don't know. I'm a time traveler, you see. We think it could be 1 million.
Okay. Well, I'm actually 13 going on 60,000 years.
Good for you. We love you. Stick your tongue out and say ta-ta. Bye-bye.
Ta-ta, Scotty. Listen, you breathe, okay?
You breathe that. Excellent. Everybody breathe. Love you. That's your Davy. Now, where did we get to there? He's worrying needlessly, I say. Everybody phone, says Gerard. Oh, yes, absolutely. Now, where did we get to there? Hang on. Tommy's up with 102. Yep, that's right. The pup was my favorite, says Abundant Universe. That's right. Aluminium drive. Yes, indeed. Don't forget the mosquito. They're not made out of wood. The old Mozzie. Wonderful. And what had she got in her? Yes, engine-wise. You know what I'm asking you there. Sounds like good crate, says John. Oh, great stuff tonight, John. A vegetable to lateral knowledge. Abundant Universe says, I've heard every word and I'm totally enthralled. They were Jeffrey de Havilland. Yes. Absolutely loved what you said. Thank you very much. Not at all. Sad about Janie Godley, R.I.P. Janie. Neil O'Gormley. Absolutely lovely to have you with us, Neil, by the way. Neil's down in Bournemouth. It's part of your history. There we are. Eat a pickled beetroot every day. Thank you, James. I'm always into these things because I'll tell you, these sort of natural cures do the trick. Hello there, friend of Scottie. Absolutely. Scottie went to university with Rabbi Burns. Sunderland and the Catalina are the best planes. Well, Jenna, the Sunderland, she latterly had Pratt and Whitney's in her. Yes. And not every Spitfire engine was the one you might think it was. I tell you, the Merlins, yep. Abundant University, you're quite right. The Mosquito had Merlins. There we are. But Spitfires also had Griffins. I tell you. Guys, is the sound and vision a lot better tonight? I think we should be told. The Merlin, you can always hear the Merlin. It's fantastic. Abundant says, it's like our wives came in and told us to knock it off. Knock it off, you two. Talking about aircraft and shipping. Tonight, there's been a lot of that. Janie Godley, yes, she did the Nicola Sturgeon impressions. She did them very well. She put in the odd naughty word as well, if I remember. Do you have an email, Scottie? Yes, I do have an email, but you can get me. You can also send me a message through this YouTube channel. What I'm going to do as soon as we're finished here tonight, guys, we'll have to wrap it in about 10 minutes. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the movies into a playlist somebody suggested earlier. And here's another one for you. And you can all help me out here. I got a lovely message from a chap from the army. And he said, have you ever thought of doing a watch with? Yeah. And I thought, how do we go about that? Abundance says, and shipping. Oh, shipping. Don't get us started on shipping. Guys, what I think I'll do, there you are. You can subscribe. And there's the number there. Subscribe 01416289795. My pencil's not working. What I thought I might do is give you a tune on the... See, we're doing it tonight without our TikTok input. So I can give you a tune on this if you'd like. So that would be quite good. Yeah, the shipping soul, absolutely. All right, let's see if we get a tune out here for you. Last verse. for you on the Speedbox, and I thought you might quite like that. I tell you, old age destroys pencils. It certainly does, Gerard. Yes, you don't know where they are. And the shipping. Are you enjoying tonight, guys? Are you having a nice time? That's what we like to know. Who's this? You're having Scotty's phone in. Who's that?
Yes, thank you, Scottie, for your Speedbox. Wow.
Did you like that?
Loved it, my friend.
Are we changed?
They're trying to change you and make you happy, Scottie.
Oh, listen, David, never ever worry about that. I am very, very happy.
I know, yeah. It's just wonderful. I mean, just change. Just we love you, we need you, and you need us.
Well, everybody needs each other, don't they?
Yeah, and I was speaking to Numpty, 24 you soon, Numpty, 24 you soon.
I think Numpty he should phone me soon.
Yes, he's going to put. I spoke to him a minute ago about your blood pressure.
My blood pressure. He'll be good about that because he's a professor.
That's right. I mean, I've got a heart condition, and we've got all conditions, Scottie.
A hat condition, did you say?
Yes, I have, son. Of course I have.
For your hats?
I've got a bad hat, Scottie.
Well, a hat? I thought you said a hat condition.
No, I've got a hat condition.
I thought maybe you'd got an irritation round your head.
Well, that's called stress as well.
It's wonderful.
I mean,
we love it. Well, we've just had a good old chat tonight, so I thought that was quite good. We haven't gone on the politics because they're too boring.
Oh, see that?
They're too dull.
See that madman in London? See him anyway.
We're not going on to that. I
know. Right, Numpty's going to phone you.
Right, we better clear the line. A DINKY-DOO.
Go, son. Listen, you take care of your condition, and I'll do the same.
You look after your condition now. Use a conditioner.
And I love you.
A DINKY-DOO. Love you too. So there we go. The melons, yes, absolutely. Now then, who have we got here? Oh, so guys, that's the latest movies uploaded for you. And as I say, I'll put them all together, and you can see what is what. Time for a general sup. Have we got a cup of tea or a glass of something? Oh, that's lush. Hello, the Scottish phone in. Who's that?
It's your HR department. We just got you drinking on the job.
HR, how are you?
Very well,
from the Hard Rock Cafe.
Now listen, my future's written.
Right. Now, before you start, I need to know.
What?
Tonight, we've done without our TikTokers.
Which is a marvellous thing, Scotty. You know, the government should ban TikTok.
Oh, no, we can't say that. Come on, you can't say that. We have to look after it. So let's not say that. But
all right,
what I'm saying is the TikTokers haven't been on tonight. They're on with us every Saturday. And what happened, Numpty Heed, I checked the end of last week's show. Right. And when we said goodbye to the TikTokers, the YouTube became clear as a bell.
Oh, right.
Right. Now, I think people haven't been watching the YouTube because they think, oh, it's all, you can't watch that. And I wish people would use their intelligence, say, treat it as the radio, don't watch him. Put it on your telly, walk away and listen.
Aye. But listen, I do have one thing I need to tell you, Scotty.
You do?
The camera is fantastic tonight.
Is it
There's
good?
No blurry images,
right.
No nothing. It's HD quality.
High quality HD.
Listen to you. Equipment.
I have. I spent all the money that you and everybody else sent on equipment.
Indeed. And now, Scotty.
Yes.
You know we've got Guy Fawkes night coming up, the 5th of November, which is a disastrous time.
Well, it's not good for the dog and the cat and the
gerbil.
I'm
lucky. I've still got Dino, but he's been he's always been adapted to fireworks, thunder and lightning, low flying.
This will be from your days in the army. Was Dino not a sniffer dog?
8 months, Scotty.
Was Dino not a sniffer dog with you in the army?
Well, me, the army wouldn't have me, Scotty.
They would. Everybody would have you in a heartbeat.
A liability,
in a heartbeat.
Anyway, as I say, Scotty, we've got the fireworks coming up. I don't know if you're aware, but Edinburgh Council are the first council in Scotland to impose a firework ban zone. Are you aware of it?
I wasn't aware, but I'm delighted to hear it.
But Scotty, let me tell you, the area that they've implemented this ban, it's not going to work. It just won't work because this has went on for years.
Right, tell us more then.
So not going to stop just because somebody brought in a new law.
See if you're living in Edinburgh, because I'm right in thinking you're in the Toon Centre, is that right?
I'm in the posh area.
The posh area of the Toon Centre.
I've got hedges to maintain.
So, yeah, excellent. Now, that means that you'll be like, in firework night, living in a bomb site.
Indeed, Scotty, but listen, it's not just that. We get the police in the riot gear. This is
the riot gear
on the 5th of November. The riot gear.
Listen,
I don't know if you've heard, if you can remember John Mackay telling us last year about last year's problems, but no doubt John Mackay will be telling us this year.
This year, I hope so. I'm a big fan.
Even though they've brought in this firework ban.
Now, the firework ban, are they saying
council taxpayers money?
Right. So are they saying that you can't let fireworks off within this area?
Well, it's House Gardens type, but this ends up in a crowd on the street, Scotty. It's like an annual event.
Right.
I mean, a big, massive crowd. And they've got what you would call weapons, not fireworks. You would call them weapons.
Do you know, see this weapons, right? See even this concept. We need to get rid of this. I could mind the police in Edinburgh, and they were armed with a foot-long baton and a whistle. What's wrong?
Eh?
Are you all right there?
I'm all right. That's Dino.
Oh, I thought it was you. Oh, I thought you were greeting. I thought you'd got upset.
No, Scotty.
Oh,
Dino,
I thought maybe it was all a wee bit too much for you there, you know.
No. You think I'm busting greeting?
I thought you were greeting. I thought the boys greeting. I better not embarrass them. I was going to cut you off.
Yeah. Listen, you better get on with your story because it's 10 o'clock.
Oh, what story was I telling you? Oh, no, all I said was they used to be armed with a foot-long wooden baton, a truncheon, and a whistle, and that was it.
All right, carry on.
There was never any pepper spray or anything like that, and if anybody cheated up to the police, they were in the back of the van and away. The Black Mariah came for them.
Well, listen, Scotty, the police are still like that, but the thing is, they've got the wrong type of police these days. The police these days are only 3.5 feet tall, and they're just at the school.
Well, I think for Edinburgh, you had to be 6'1", did you know?
Used to be a height restriction, but they've taken all that away now, Scotty.
Oh, have they?
And you look at the riot police these days, Scotty, they're schoolbairns.
Well,
they're dressed like munchkins.
Well, it's saying here the fireworks ban's a national ban.
Well, Edinburgh was the first to implement it. And they implemented it away at the start of the year.
I don't know.
It says we can see the problems coming.
Absolutely. Well, I've just had Anne here has said, love the films you put on for us and love your accent. Who remembers Andy Stewart doing a New Year's show? We all loved and watched. Absolutely. Yes, it did, Andy Stewart. Come in, Scotty, it's fine to see you.
Scotty,
yes.
You're listening, Scotty?
Of course.
How do you fancy staying on an extra hour and I'll bring you 20 quid?
Oh, no, I wouldn't ask you to do that.
No, it's a gift for Christmas.
No, I wouldn't ask you to that. No, I wouldn't ask you. No, I've got to go, but that doesn't mean I don't love you.
Oh, well.
And it was a
You could
very,
I
very
could
kind
sponsor
offer.
the show. I could sponsor the show.
Sponsor the
brought to you
show.
by Numpty.
Sponsored by Numpty Heat.
Aye.
I think 20
There we
quid's
are.
a wee bit generous.
Of course, of course.
A wee bit generous
Comes
for
with
me.
the Doug's budget.
You know we're not monetized on the YouTube, so I don't get anything out of it.
Well, mere reason for mere people to visit your
You know,
GoFundMe.
that's the stuff. So there we go. They didn't
Some
like it.
equipment for the show.
Best equipment, and you're saying it's looking good tonight.
Aye, it's looking absolutely brilliant, Scotty.
And it sounded fine. Numpty Heat, I'll thank you so much, and we will catch up again very soon.
Well, make sure you're on time next time.
Aye, and don't you be late. I was shocked tonight. Me rushing, and you weren't even there.
Stop talking nonsense. Away you go.
Dinky-Doo.
Dinky-Doo.
Dinky-Doo. Bye-bye. So that's it, folks. We are out of time. I love you all very much. Stick out your tongue and say ta-ta. Ta-ta.